Hello my good friends and fellow crafters, it's Miss Darling in the studio. Welcome back. This is part 3 and hopefully the final episode in this series of creating our own backgrounds and making awesome clusters that are uniquely ours and different from everybody else's on the planet. So let's get moving. All right. Now, in episode 1, I showed you how to colorize the strips, get them stamped, and get unique, wonderful, dark, contrasting designs with lots of drama onto the strips. And then in episode 2, we talked all about and got our basic backgrounds made for a whole host of clusters. And then off camera I made 3 more in this color palette to add to what we did in episode 2. So we have a lot of ground to cover. We have all of these to finalize. We have all of these in the cool palette of blues and greens and teals, and then we have some here in our neutral palette of browns and beige and black. So I have gone ahead and selected, I think, most of what we might want to do, and the only thing I can think of that I have not done yet is to scour for some little labels that we might want to insert here and there. And I have a bunch here. Most of them, of course, are going to be way too big, but we might find some usage out of some of the smaller ones. Here are some faux stamps, or reproductions, I should say. Maybe not faux. I'm just going to pull out a bunch of random things. Not going to worry about too much about color at this point because we are working with several different palettes, and we don't have to use any of them actually, but I'd like to have some pulled out and handy just in case we need a little something extra. And I'm hoping I'll find some things that are small enough to be usable. I think I went through this and pulled out a ton of little labels and organized them into another little bin. And of course now I don't recall where I put that little bin. My goodness, old age is the pits. So, I just can't trust my memory very well anymore. And, it's one of the downsides of getting older. But we just live with it and move on as best we can. So, if I feel like I need some more to pull from, I'll spend more time hunting up that little container where I put a bunch of small ones. But I am pulling out quite a few here yet, and so we might have what we need. There's a couple on there that are very small. Okay, I think that'll do us fine. I probably will want to bring out some ribbon and trims. So first off, we're working with this sort of melon color here and some, light red and pink. So let me see what I've got. Some lace. Okay, let's go over here. I think we'll tackle some of this first. And this is going to be a vertical cluster. And maybe we'll use a little bit of this. Can't see it too well. I'm going to cut it down. And what have we got here that we can use to dress it up? Do you want to go with some black? I kind of like that. I don't want to cover over the fringe of the fabric right there, so we're going to go on this side. That will set off the edge here and give nice contrast. Obviously one doesn't have to put put the focal points on this early. One could wait and just leave the backgrounds plain without a focal point and then add it when you've decided where you're going to use the cluster. So that's a way of doing it too, but I kind of like the idea of of getting it all finished up as its own little work of art, without regard to where I might use it. Yeah, so that's where we're going with that one. Oops, sorry. Okay. I think I'd like to have something a little extra behind that to give it a little more pizzazz. Maybe something gold. And I run that up the side of that, and then tuck that in. And that's sort of the material. Okay, but I am going to ink this up. And there we have that one. Probably don't need two butterflies in the same thing. Well, I'm afraid that's about all we're going to have time for. I will go on and finish up these other ones off camera and then show you the whole collection at the end and what I did with it. I think you get the idea of what I'm doing, putting a lot of pattern together, and that just makes it so much more interesting and vibrant, and will be great focal points for whatever you want to use them for if you do something similar to what I've done. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got inspiration from it and ideas and can take it and make your own that are individually yours and no one else's in the whole world.